Welcome back to Papa's These Bees. This is the last installment of the wax moth destruction of the corner hive. So what we've done when last week when the temperature was really low and we actually had a rainy day, we moved the nuke over by the horizontal hive and the Apimaye over here, and it was covered up when we moved it, and then we put some branches over the front of it when we opened it up. That way they're kind of confused. They have to do orientation flights again, and hopefully they'll all come back here rather than going back over there. Good thing is this apparently has worked because they didn't go back there. They all stayed here. Got a good bunch here, so here we go. So first thing I'm going to do is smoke them, let them know as close as they are to where the hive is cleaned up is the they're probably not going to have any problem finding where they are. There we go. Ooh. Lots of bees up on the top there. That's good. Just got lots of bees in general in this hive, so that's good. So what we're going to do is we'll take this inner cover. See how many bees there are. That's great. It's a good, strong, healthy hive. I'll put these over there so maybe they'll crawl up inside. So now what we have to do is we have to take the 10 frames here and put them into an 8 frame. So we're just going to start and see what we have. This was a swarm that we caught earlier this spring, back in the spring. So what I'm looking for is I need 2 frames that, goodness gracious, that, oh, look at the honey there, that's nice. This may be one I leave out because there's no brood on it. As soon as I get into brood, I'm going to start putting them in the middle. Lots of honey, goodness gracious, these girls have been busy. There's definitely this frame's going to have to stay out because it's all wonkied up. So I think I'm starting to see brood on this next frame. We're not sure, I won't be sure until I get it pulled out, but a little bit of brood, but some honey. So I want to put this one in, I'll put it towards the edge. That way we'll boy, look at more honey, goodness gracious. But lots of brood. So this is going to go over on this side, on the outside. And here we have another, I'm assuming it's going to be mostly brood, or mostly honey. Goodness gracious. This is all honey, so now if all holds true, all of the bees in here this should be mostly brood. Depending on what we find, that'll tell us what we want to do. Okay, there's lots of larvae in here, not larvae, but pollen, and more honey. Goodness gracious. Don't really know where to put this one. It needs to go over here. You would think on the lower hive body that it would all be almost all brood. And we see some good brood pattern on both sides, so this will go in the middle. So we'll build the frames around it. Yeah, more brood. So this is another good brood frame. So this is typical. What you find is you'll find brood towards the bottom side, and then as you get towards the edges, then you'll towards the edges you'll see mostly honey. Okay, so this will go right here. Lots and lots of bees. Okay, I think I'm going to put this frame back in. Okay. So now I need to straighten this thing up. Okay, so what we need to do now, we need to get these bees over here in this hive, and hopefully we get the queen in there. I'm going to move this out of the way. Hopefully we won't lose the queen. There we go. I suspect the queen would have probably come down here, so I really want to find her if I can. I do not see her, but that doesn't mean anything. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put their storehouse box up here. This is kind of a temporary thing. I've got to put some more drawn frames in here later. Okay, so this is the box. It has better comb here because they're not really going to have enough time to draw any out. So this is better comb, and I'll show you. I'll put a link to that on there. Okay. All right. So that's all we can do there. So the next thing is we're going to go ahead and put the feeder shim on here to get them ready for winter and start feeding them so they can pull this up. This is a rapid round feeder which we'll use to feed them. And then the last remaining thing to do here, cover on here, this is a good cover. I'll put the link to it in here as well. Now they're going to just have to settle. There's not much we can do. So we'll take these frames of honey back up and we'll save those. And then we'll keep watching this and I'll keep you posted. Thanks. The thing we're going to do, again, is we're going to take this top box off, but we'll take a look at the frames and put the frames over in this Hive Butler, which is a neat little tool to have as well. Yeah, they've really propolized it up. And what we do with any nuke, but we had a nuke here we used back in the corner when we had to redo that hive because of the hive moths. And what we do with a resource hive is, say for instance, if you lose a queen and you need to allow the bees to create a new queen, you'll go into a resource box and pull a frame or two that has very young larvae. So they literally are a resource. If you have a hive that needs honey frames because they're down low and you don't want to feed them for whatever reason, you can also pull a frame out of that sort of situation. So, okay. Again, there's a little bit of drawn comb, but not much. So we probably won't give them, but you can certainly see the nectar in here. Let me turn around in the light where you can see that nectar glisten in there. So they're bringing in stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of brush them off because I don't want to harm them. And this may be, we're just going to have to look and see what is in here. There's just not much comb on this side, but there is quite a bit on this side. So that may give us something that we'll want to use. Hive butlers are pretty expensive, but they're very, very versatile. You can use them to store. I've got one that I'm using to store some honey frames until I get ready to goodness gracious, sorry, until I get ready to extract them. Yeah, this one is a lot heavier. This one will definitely go. So we need 4 frames that will actually pull. And you can see that I've got some capped there, so this will be a good frame to go over there. So I'm going to kind of spread these out so I'll know what's going to go where. So on this right side here, that's going to be the ones that we're going to put in the corner hive. Little brush is kind of handy. You can always knock them off, but I was going to try. We got this brush, and I'm just going to try it and see how it works out. Oh yeah, even more. Look at that nice capped brood there. Capped honey, I mean, sorry. And this should always be all honey, capped here as well. So this will be a great one for them to use. From our experience with nukes, and especially the Apimayes, they don't, sorry, let me concentrate here on multiple things. They don't require as much food storage over the winter. And the 7/7 or a 505, whichever kind of nuke that you want to use, will allow them to have plenty of frames for brood, as well as plenty of frames for honey. Got another one here, a nice little honey frame. There's some nice honey there. You can see them working those frames. So if we have to take a bee or two over to the corner hive, that's fine. They'll normally accept a bee from another hive. It happens a lot more than what most people think. It's called drifting, where they'll go from one hive to the other. Especially if they've got stores of some sort, they'll let them in. Again, kind of the same thing, a nice honey-filled frame and nectar, a lot of nectar in there. So we'll move them back to the corner. Again, this is using these resources. We'll move them back into the corner, and then those bees there will be able to work these frames and finish them out. And one of the reasons why we want to winterize this and get this medium super off is because the bees will have to manage whatever volume of space that you give them. And if you leave them a lot of unopened space, then it makes it very difficult on them to be able to manage and keep it warm. So critical, because in the wintertime, the bees will keep the cluster around the bees, around the queen, at around 90 degrees, even if it might be 90, 95 degrees, even if it's 10 degrees below zero outside. They're pretty amazing creatures, as we like to often say. separate this. And then we'll put this in storage in little frames in the freezer to kind of let them make sure we don't have wax moths or anything in them. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put the feeders back on. And then we'll come out and check this hive a little bit later and probably maybe put some Formic Pro in it. And then now what they will do is they'll fill up any of the frames in here that don't have honey in them, because we do have a little bit of a nectar flow going. This is the last piece that we have left to do on the rebuilding of the corner hive. I'll put a link to a video on this one, where we got these frames from that are in this box. It's from our Apimaye nuke, our resource hive. So we'll take this apart a little bit. Basically all we have to do is take the feeder off and of course the top off. Let me give them a little bit of smoke. We've already got it propolised down, which is interesting. Oh yeah, look at the bees. This is a really good strong hive. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll move some of these frames off of here, out of here, and just see what they look like. I don't think they've probably done much. No, there's nothing on that one. So we'll just shake them back down in there. And see, there's nothing there either, because it's too late in the year for them to actually be building comb. So we'll look at some of the better beef. This is synthetic wax, but it's made to mimic beeswax. So this time of year when they really don't have time to create, to create new comb or build that comb like you see on these frames here, then it's nice to be able to have something they don't have to build, save them, because there's so much energy it takes them to actually build honeycomb. They're not real happy because they don't understand I'm trying to help them here, but see the same thing. There's a little bit of wax there. I'm really surprised there's any. So they actually are starting to build this out, but not that anything that will help us at this point, because we need to be able to, because this is October, you don't really know how soon that we're going to start having cold weather, and they won't be out. So we're going to take the best 4 frames here and put them in this hive, move the better comb to the outside. And so what this box here is, if you're new to the channel, you don't understand what this box here is for, but it's basically what we call our bee store, our bee pantry, whatever you want to call it. So this box will be full of honey, or if they don't fill it out before the winter gets in here, the cool weather starts and they lose their forage, then we'll feed them with heavy sugar syrup, so they'll be able to fill these up and use these for the winter. In past years, one of these full has been more than enough to keep the brood frame going, keep the bees. It's a great way to do it. A lot of this I learned from Fred Dunn. If you if you're a beekeeper and haven't looked at his channel, I really strongly advise it. He's been such a mentor to me, even though he doesn't really even know it, that I would strongly recommend that you look at his channel. But anyway, so what we're going to do here, this will be the last component that we have to rebuilding. We'll put the little feeder lid on here. We'll put feed out here. This yellow, called rapid round feeder, is a really good feeder type because it allows the bees to come up inside and without harming them. They can come up and crawl over the side and get the liquid that we put in and take care of it, utilize it inside the hive. So put the lid on it and we're done. and we'll put a rock on here later. So again, the corner hive rebuild is complete, and hopefully they'll make it through the winter, and we'll be able to go from there. Thanks.